this video, I'm going to show you how to play a power chord. I'm going to use this acoustic guitar, but power chords are played exactly the same way on an acoustic guitar as they are on an electric guitar. The reason I'm using an acoustic guitar for this video is that sometimes acoustic guitars can be slightly harder to press down on to get the notes, which is why I'm going to focus on acoustic guitar power chords in this video. Power chords are also known as neutral chords sometimes because they don't contain the note which characterizes them as either major or minor, which is either a major third or a minor third. They're just a root and a fifth, so therefore they are neutral chords because the root note and the fifth note is exactly the same in both the major scale and the minor scale. If you want to know more about scales, then check out the description of this video to check out my course all about the natural minor scale and the major scale, and that will help you understand both of those a lot more, which will help you then understand how these power chords are formed a little bit better. So how do we play that on the guitar? Well, we're going to take our first finger and we're going to play the first fret of the low E string. That is going to be our root note for this chord, which is going to be an F power chord. I'm choosing to play a power chord right at the bottom of the fretboard, by the way, because that's where the frets are the widest. Therefore, this is going to be the most challenging power chord to play. Also, I'm using the low strings because, again, those are the thickest strings to play, therefore the most challenging. And if you can play a power chord here at the bottom of the guitar, you can play a power chord anywhere. So it's a really good place to start. So as I said, we're going to take the first fret on the low E string to give us our F root note. And to find our fifth, all we do is go to the string below it or above it, which is higher in pitch, and go across 2 frets, which gives us the third fret of the A string. And we're going to play both of those notes at the same time. So a low F note on the first fret of the low E and a C note, which is the third fret of the A string. Play those both at the same time. That gives us our power chord, a root and a fifth. Now, a couple of things about that is I personally like to play power chords using my first finger to play the root note and my little finger to play the fifth. Because the idea behind power chords and the reason that they're used quite a lot, other than the fact that they are neutral chords and they sound good in many different chord progressions, is that you can move them about very, very easily to play pretty cool stuff. So I've just played a power chord progression there, and the shape was exactly the same, but I just moved it about. Personally, when it comes to moving about power chords, I find it a lot easier to move about if I keep my fingers as my first finger and my little finger. Sometimes if I'm just using my first finger and third finger, it might be a little bit easy to mess the shape up or lose the shape with your hand. So if I keep using my first finger and little finger, then I tend to keep the stretch much easier, and that's why I use those fingers. But not everybody does that. Some people like to play them using their first finger and third finger. And another advantage of using your first finger and third finger is that you can also add a second root note on top of that and make the power chords a 3-string power chord. So in this case, we could play a low F note with our first finger. We could play the C note, the fifth, with our third finger. And the note directly below the C note is another F note, and we could play that with our little finger and play all 3 of those, which is going to give us now a 3-string power chord. And even though we're playing 3 strings, we're only still playing 2 notes because 2 of the notes are the same. We have an F, a C, and another F. And that shape will be slightly harder to play at first, but also harder to move about as well. That sort of thing. So that's going to take a little bit more practice, but sounds cooler, and it's got just a little bit more to it because you've got that extra note, and it's going to emphasize more the root note of that chord specifically because you've got 2 of them in it. So that is how to form and play a power chord. If you want to learn a bit more about power chords and have a little bit more practice and even some exercises and cool things that you can try which will help you learn them a lot quicker, then click the link in the description as well to check out my completely free beginner's guitar course. That will run you through absolutely everything when it comes to learning the guitar, the basics through to power chords, riffs, all that cool stuff. So check that out if you're interested. Hope you enjoyed this video anyway. Hope you found it useful. Leave it a like, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and hopefully we'll see you next time.